welcome to this evening to the meeting of the Cabinet on Wednesday, the 17th of January 2024. Before we start the meeting, I'd just like to outline some housekeeping rules as usual. There are no planned fire alarms, and so if the alarm does sound, please leave via the emergency exits at the rear of the room. Can I also request that all mobile phones are on silent or switched off? Thank you very much. As we are holding a meeting prior to council, I would just ask this evening for introductions from the members of the Cabinet. I am Councillor Paul Foster. I'm the Chair of the Cabinet and the Leader of the Council.
Hello, Councillor Ian Watkinson, Cabinet Member, Customer Services and Digital. That sounds like it's working.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask the Cabinet to please introduce yourselves again because the system wasn't working. So, Ian, you're fine. Claire, just want to know.
Yeah, sorry. My name's Claire Hunter, Cabinet Member for Communities, Leisure and Wellbeing.
I'm Deborah Ashton. I'm Cabinet Member for Neighbourhood and Waste Services.
I'm Councillor Aniela Belinsky-Gelder, Cabinet Member and Deputy Leader for South Ribble.
And I'm Councillor Matthew Tomlinson. I'm the Council's Cabinet Member for Finance and Public Protection.
I'm Councillor Jackie Olty and I'm Cabinet Member for Social Justice, Equality and Diversity and Community Wealth Building. Thank you.
Thanks, colleagues. So we have some members of the council here this evening as well, because we have the EGM straight afterwards. And as usual, can you just please press your button if you wish to speak at the appropriate time. And if any members of the council who are dialing in via Teams wish to speak, they just need to use the raise your hand function. Please all note that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on YouTube, and the web link for this can be found on the council's website. Finally, members that are dialed in on Teams, please do keep your microphones on mute and then only unmute when you're asked to speak. Just one final point. When the meeting of the Cabinet is concluded, there'll be a recess of 15 minutes when there'll be some changes made to the IT setup, and then we'll get on with the extraordinary meeting of the Council. And at the end of the Cabinet meeting, we'll announce exactly what time the council meeting will be started, but it should be fairly quick. Okay, moving on to the first agenda item. Apologies. I have an apology from Councillor James Flannery. Agenda item 2, declarations of interest. If a member has a pecuniary interest, they are requested to leave the meeting completely. The said member can rejoin the meeting following the completion of the item in question. Do any members of the Cabinet have any interests to declare? No? Okay, thank you. Agenda item 3, minutes of the last meeting. I have the minutes of the meeting in front of me for approval. Are there any points of accuracy in the minutes, and can we propose the minutes for approval, please?
Proposed.
And second.
Thank you. Any comments from members on the Cabinet regarding the minutes? Any comments from any members not on Cabinet? No. Can we take a vote, please? Are those minutes approved? Thank you. That's unanimous. Agenda item 4 is the Cabinet forward plan. Members are advised that this item is accessible via the web link on the agenda, and hard copies of the plan are also available at the meeting. Do any members of the Cabinet have any questions regarding the forward plan? No. Any members not on Cabinet? No. Okay, good. We're just asked to note that, and it is duly noted. Okay, agenda item 5 is the nomination of Mayor-elect 2024-25 and Deputy Mayor-elect 2024-25. The purpose of the report in front of your colleagues is to allow Cabinet to nominate the Mayor-elect and Deputy Mayor-elect for 2024-25, with the Deputy Mayor-elect becoming Mayor in 2025-26. The recommendations to Cabinet are as follows: that Councillor Peter Molyneux be nominated as Mayor-elect for municipal year 2024-25, and that the Deputy Mayor-elect for 2024-25, with a view to becoming Mayor in 25-26, be Councillor Paul Wharton Hardman. I'm happy to propose that. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Okay, any comments from members on Cabinet? No. Any comments from members not on Cabinet? No. Right, we need to take a vote. Colleagues, please. All those in favour? Thank you. That's unanimous. Agenda item 6 is the draft 2024-25 budget update, and Councillor Matthew Tomlinson will present this item. Matthew.
Yes, thank you, Leader. I have to start my comments by saying this is very much a draft. Members will recall this continuous annual settlement from the government, which gives us real difficulties in projecting how much income we're going to get, is a frustration that we've all had for a while. And this year we're even later than normal. And in fact, there are certain figures that we're not likely to finalise until the 31st of January. So my comments tonight are very much based on a worst case scenario, but I am hopeful that by the time the actual budget meeting comes, I'll be able to say even more positive things than we'll be able to talk to tonight. Those members who were with us before the last election will recall that the medium-term financial strategy was projecting that we would be short, I think it was 1.1 million next year. And so we've been identifying savings to close that gap. But members will also be aware that the exponential rise in homelessness that has cost us so much money. We're projecting £700,000 this year, when last year it was 150,000. We've had a further welcome rise for the staff, but not fully funded by the government. Utility costs, especially around our leisure provision, has also caused us some issues. So the headline figure is, for the first time in 4 years, we are proposing a council tax increase, but in a year where inflation has peaked at over 10%, I would suggest an increase of 2.99% is justifiable. And we are continuing with our investment. You'll see when the capital programme comes out, not only we got the high profile investments such as Jubilee Gardens and the Leyland Town deal, there'll be further investment in parks and playgrounds, further investment in our fleet. But we are going to struggle to balance the budget without the use of reserves next year. So the suggestion is that we, at this stage, budget to take £500,000 from the reserves. Members, again, and my apologies for new members, but members who were here before the election will remember we did specifically set up a reserve to protect this council from inflation. And there is more than enough in that reserve for us to draw down this money should we need it. So the recommendations, Chair, are that we agree to the draft budget, which has a proposed 2.99 increase in council tax, forecast a balanced budget based on that increase and the use of £500,000 of reserves. And again, there's that caveat that this may need to change when we do finally get the completed figures. And then a further budget shortfall in 25-26 that again we'll have to work hard to close over the coming year. And to further note the proposals in the report for further investment in our priority areas across the borough. I'm convinced that the debate on this will be rather longer at the budget meeting, so it's not my intention to say any more than that at this stage. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, this goes out to consultation, and then obviously we have the budget meeting of the council in February when all the final decisions can be made. I share your frustration, Matthew, with the position we're in with the financial settlements. Clearly, the settlement from government comes nowhere near to dealing with the cost of living crisis, the inflation, and all the additional charges on local government, particularly around homelessness, as you mentioned, and something has to give here. I also noted in the media, particularly this week, there are a significant number of local authorities who are teetering on the edge of a Section 114 notice of bankruptcy. And it was really pleasing to see on the BBC website, it was shared with me yesterday, that South Ribble's down at 286. It's one of the least riskiest, most financially stable local authorities in the country, and that is pleasing. So that's what we should remember here. We did establish the reserve for the inflationary pressures that we were facing, and let's not beat about the bush. Some of the last 12 months fiscally have been utterly devastating for a number of local authorities. The cost of the utilities have gone through the roof. The inflationary hits that we've had to take in every area of the local authority. Yet we're sat here as a cabinet today, not proposing any cuts whatsoever, and continuing to deliver frontline services to the best standards that there possibly can be in Lancashire, and deliver some of our strategic projects for our community, which I commend. Happy to second the proposals. Councillor Tomlinson, do any other members of the Cabinet have any questions for Matthew at this point? No. Do any members not on Cabinet have any questions for Councillor Tomlinson at this point? Councillor Smith?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Just only a very quick question, and it was with regard to the reserve and the £500,000 that's coming from reserve. If I'm not mistaken, and I might very well be, because it was some while ago, but the reserve was created from sort of undesignated COVID money that came in that we were allowed to use for whatever we wanted to use it for. If you could confirm that, would be great. Thank you.
Yes, I'm happy to confirm that.
Okay, any other questions? No? Right, so we've had a proposer and a seconder that the 4 recommendations that Councillor Tomlinson's outlined are accepted. All those in favour? Thank you, that's unanimous. So moving swiftly on, it's Councillor Tomlinson again, agenda item 7, fees and charges for 2024-25. Matthew.
Thank you, Leader. And again, last year, members may remember, we froze our fees and charges and didn't put anything up. But again, with the pressure that we're coming under, that is simply no longer sustainable. So the recommendations to Cabinet are to note the current levels of budgeted fees and charges, to approve the changes to others category of fees, to approve an increase in the cost of the council tax and business rates, summons and liability orders. This will bring us more into line with other authorities across the county, to approve increases of 10% for the 360 litre trade waste bin and 5% for the 1100 litre bin, and then finally to approve an increase in charges at the conference centre over the coming 3 years, and to uplift other charges in line with this. Many of the fees and charges that we charge, Leader, as you will know, are fixed by central government and are not in our control. So those are identified further in the report. And then there are a range of other fees that we charge that we could change, some of which we're proposing to do and some of which we're not. For instance, car parking There will be no changes to car parking next year. You'll recall we introduced a new regime last year, and we're going to give that time to bed in and for people to get used to it. So the actual increases that we're suggesting, they're itemised in the report. And again, I don't suggest I say any more than that.
Thanks, Councillor Tomlinson. And just to reconfirm that recommendation 5 is trade waste. Yeah, it's trade waste bin collection charges that are proposed to increase slightly.
I'm not aware of any households that have a 1,100 litre bin, but perhaps somebody could put me right on that.
There's a joke there, but I'm not going there. Right. So we have the paper in front of us. It's the increases are clearly justified, as you say, Matthew, and a number of them are completely outside our control anyway because they're set by central government. I'm happy to second Matthew's proposals. Do any members of Cabinet have anything to add? No. Do any members not on Cabinet have anything to ask about this proposal? No. Right, so we've had a proposer and a seconder. All those in favour, please. Thank you. That's unanimous. Right, colleagues. Agenda item 8 is the Lancashire Advanced Engineering and Manufacturing Enterprise Zone consultation. So hopefully all members are aware that the area of the EZ down there in Salisbury is subject to what's called a local development order, an LDO. And the last LDO was set in 2014 by both South Ribble Borough Council and Ribble Valley Borough Council, whose boundary is more or less right in the middle of the BAE Systems site and the EZ, were required to renew or consider to renew the local development order so that the site continues to enjoy the benefits of the employment zone. The legislation is such that must go out to consultation first. And so what we're being asked to do as a Cabinet now is, as the paper states, is send out the statutory consultation to review the appropriateness of the EZ. We will then get that consultation back, and then it will be a council decision as to whether or not we grant the local development order for a further 10 years. So as it states in the recommendation is simple. The Cabinet members agree to proceed with the statutory consultation as described within the paper. I'm happy to suggest that that's what we do. Do I have a seconder, please?
Seconded.
Any questions on this? It's a very, very detailed report and hopefully quite self-explanatory. Councillor Flannery may have done a better job introducing than I have, but it's going out for consultation. The statutory consultation is within there and the justification for that. And as I say, it will come back to council for review, and it's up to the then council's decision as whether or not that's extended for a further 10 years. So any questions, members? No? Any questions from members not on council? Councillor Phil Smith?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I remember it first time round. So here we are again with it, another 10-year project, which I think we should all be in favour of, to be quite honest. And we hope that the consultation will come back positively, as we should talk it up positively as a site of high employment, and it's something that we should look forward to. So I certainly look forward to the consultation coming back and it going back to council. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Phil. Yeah. Any other comments, anybody? No. Right. There's a proposer and a seconder that we send the consultation out and it comes back to council for decision. All those in favour? Thank you. That's unanimous. Right. Agenda item 10 is the Leyland Towndale project update. And I'll go. Does it have a draft to exclude the press and public, do I?
Yeah.
Right, sorry. Is it really? Let me just double check. Yes, sorry, agenda item 9. Unfortunately, because what we're about to discuss is confidential at the moment because it contains information pertaining to some acquisitions and other commercial aspects of the Leyland Town deal, we're going to have to ask for the press and public to be excluded. But what I can say publicly is that we are looking towards the end of January, and certainly within the month of early February, to be having a public presentation on the progress of the town deal, which is very exciting. Once we've made these final commercial contracts in place and they're all in place. So there will be a public presentation in the next couple of weeks, and I'm hoping to do it via a full council meeting as well in part one. But for now, I've been asked to exclude the press and public so we can make these decisions. I'm happy to propose. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Thank you. Can we take a vote? That's unanimous. Thank you. What you're saying is I should follow that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.